Welcome back. Montolio's connection's been a little laggy tonight, so we're not done with Brass Man after all.
I'll take
Glad you
it.
can stick around with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Happy to hear your take on this matchup. This is interesting. Andreas sitting here in the finals for the evening with that loss to give. He was really worried when he drew you in the first round. I think that was the matchup he thought was his bad matchup. Was what do I do about a Tarmogoyf?
Yeah, I think that matchup is was very kind of Dark Confidant dependent and Deathrite Shaman dependent. We're both kind of fighting over those things. Right. And I think I had more tools in my deck to win that fight, but it's not like he had none. And I knew going into the match, what does he have that I don't? Well, Ancestral, Time Walk.
Right.
Ancestral, and it's on average, I think my cards are more powerful, but the Ancestrals twice, which he can certainly do and did.
Yeah.
A slightly more powerful card isn't going to get me there.
That definitely happened one game. You basically had, junded him out, right? You're just up a couple of cards. You've got a solid board position. It's going to take you a couple of turns to win. And then, he yoinked Ancestral Recall off the top into snapping it back and completely turned one of the games around with an Ancestral. And then the other one, it was Dark Confidant advantage. Well, we'll see how those cards favor Andreas in this last match. Our players are ready. Let's go see what happens. All right, if Andreas Peterson and his 5-color legends can win this match, he goes through to the semifinals next week. Cyrus is going to have to win twice, but he has proven himself capable of winning a lot of games with his Storm deck. Interesting. Who's on the play? That seems pretty big here. I think it's Cyrus?
I think it's Andreas. His clock's ticking down.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about a mulligan, which I don't think you mulligan that draw. It's a little weird.
It's a strange hand. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad hand. I don't know what you do with it, and I'm interested to see what he'll do with it.
Right, I see Cyrus's clock has already run down a couple of minutes, so yeah, it's on Cyrus. Andreas did decide to keep that. I don't know how he's going to play it, but both players with demonic tutors, so I'm interested to see how they each decide to play this.
Yeah. Now, Cyrus could have played the Rupee and got an Ancestral, which makes me think he's not getting Ancestral here.
Monastery Mentor is back.
That's it. Won the last 2 games. Why not try again?
Fair. Brainstorm, is that the play?
So there's a line where you can demonic from Mox and cast a Leovold, but I don't know if that's right. And that's not what Andres is doing.
Wow, Force of Will.
Well, he knows that Cyrus demonic for something and didn't play it, right? It's either an Ancestral or a Mentor or something. And it's a very conservative play, but could be right.
Interesting. Both players went demonic tutor pass. I guess hypothetically, from Cyrus's seat, Andreas might have DT'd for Black Lotus because he didn't play it after the demonic tutor.
True. Just set up a big turn now.
Be a weird demonic tutor out of that 5-color Legends deck. I think you just play Mentor here, right? What's the worst thing that happens is you get it Force of Will, and then it was him to Torok, right? You get
it's not.
Out of your hand. You got a Brainstorm.
What's the Mentor result, but it's not so bad.
Not that bad. He killed a Leovold. Leovold's amazing against Cyrus.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky to cast off of a Wasteland and a Mox Jet, but
yeah.
Underground Sea is a good draw. All right. Waste the Tundra. Monastery Mentor, I think, is the only white card in the main deck anyway, but that's him on mana, broadly construed.
Yeah.
Brainstorm is kind of a big game for Cyrus. There's some danger that he gets himself Brainstorm locked here. He's just going to sit on it and wait. All right.
Yeah, I mean, both players, it'll be interesting to see how patient they are with the Brainstorm. There's a lot of pros and cons to casting it now versus waiting and see what they do. So this is castable here. Leovold, have to burn a Lotus.
You have to sack the Lotus for green.
Yeah, it can't do anything else with that mana, but this is a powerful.
I don't love it. It's a powerful card, though. I mean, if he could defend it with a Flusterstorm, well, Flusterstorm wouldn't be
Yeah,
good.
if the Flusterstorm was up afterwards, it would be a lot more exciting.
Wow. And there's the Force of Will.
Yeah.
If Cyrus wants to Force of Will, he's also got a repeal where he can bounce it, let Andreas draw a card. Mind's Desire makes this all more complicated. Cyrus is like, why am I not in my main phase? I don't know how he's going to play this. I think you Force of Will?
Yeah, it's tough. That Mind's Desire is good, but it's probably not good next turn.
I mean, you can Mind's Desire pitching repeal, right? Set up for Mind's Desire several turns from now.
And this is a brainstorm with a fetch in hand, so Cyrus can go for an entirely different, right? Putting back an entirely different set of cards, right, and shuffling them away.
Wow, but your opponent had to sack Black Lotus to cast Leovold, so that repeal's looking tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Repeal might just permanently kill it, but then again, he gets to draw a card if you do that.
Yeah. So if Cyrus keeps the repeal, that means still has access to Force, has a bigger Mind's Desire. It doesn't change too much. It just means that Cyrus has the. That's basically what it does.
Right. He can bounce repeal and hope that's good enough, giving Andreas a card and hoping to strand it in his hand. Or he can spend 2 cards getting rid of it completely. It's fair. They do both draw cards. I think I use Force of Will, and I think I pitch repeal. I think how I would play Cyrus's spot.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't think holding onto the Force and repealing does enough. With the biggest play being, if the Desire were an outcome instead, and Cyrus were going to have a big, draw 4 or 5 cards turn, that might be more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for us to say. From Cyrus's seat, Andreas could have a Force of Will and a blue card in his hand. Andreas could also have a Deathrite Shaman in his hand. With green mana floating, Deathrite Shaman makes Leovold recastable, even if it gets bounced.
Yeah.
I think that makes it even better to Force of Will.
Yeah, though, wanting the game back, the Deathrite would have had to have been drawn this turn.
Because he's had Underground Sea for a couple turns.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure remember if all the mana was used. If this is just turn 2, then I guess turn 1 was just the demonic by Lotus.
It's turn 3.
Oh, because the Wasteland was earlier. Yeah. All
right. Well, Cyrus decided Force of Will is the right answer, but Cyrus decided to pitch his Mind's Desire.
It's going to be a small Mind's Desire. So maybe
and he's also decided he's going to shuffle away the Black Lotus. Right, the top card of his library right now is Black Lotus, so he's he gets a fresh draw step instead of the Lotus. Obviously, if he was trying to set up a Mind's Desire, he'd be priced into keeping the Lotus, but he thinks he can do better with a random card off the top of the library.
Yeah.
Now Deathrite Shaman is here. That is going to fix Andreas' mana moving forward. Man, you just bounce it now? Is it time? Let's see if you can stitch something together before Deathrite mana goes on.
Does Andreas have anything? Andreas got the Lavinia too. You might want to hold on to the repeal for that.
That's a good point. Yeah, repeal's a very important card in this matchup. Between Lavinia and Leovold, Cyrus can't beat either of those legends with his base deck. And the Mentor's already in the graveyard, so.
Now, the repeal on the Deathrite would be a pretty good tempo swing, but maybe cost him in the long game.
Yeah, I mean, only if you draw something to take advantage of the tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Hurkyl's Recall doesn't do much more than generate storm count.
It almost seems like the real thing that Leovold did here was force Cyrus to use the brainstorm before he wanted to. Andreas's brainstorm is shaping up to be, it's going to be a lot better than Cyrus's was. To fetch out.
Andreas goes for Abrupt Decay on Mox Jet, and Cyrus is like, my Hurkyl's Recall does something. I just turned it into Mox Jet. This is great.
A lot of artifact mana.
Yeah, I mean, it just needs an outcome. Well, it needs to get it to resolve through a Flusterstorm too. Cyrus playing out his artifacts ahead of time, probably for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, his Mind's Desire's been exiled. Man, I don't know. I would have kept the Mind's Desire instead of the repeal. If he Mind's Desire here, it would have been for like 3 or 4. Oof. Brainstorm finds an Ancestral.
I think the Deathrite and Dak probably going back. Yeah, Flusterstorm, Ancestral Misstep. Kind of a great set of cards for Andreas to have right here.
Indeed. Fetch land lets him shuffle off the Brainstorm.
Yeah, not that the cards he got rid of were even bad, but he can do better.
Goes for the Ancestral main phase. Does still have Flusterstorm mana via the Deathrite. Now here's another Deathrite. Andreas just pulling ahead now.
Mm-hmm.
Next turn, he gets to play a Dak. Mining Top, is that enough? I mean, Cyrus needs to find multiple threats. Misstep, of course, stops Dividing Top.
Now Andreas on his last turn could have played out Emerald to play the Deathrite, leaving up a Jet for his active Deathrite end of turn. But holding on to Emerald is good to pitch to Dak.
Yeah, I think he was expecting it to be one of the discards to Dak Fade in this turn, for sure. And still, Andreas has been able to hold up that Flusterstorm basically the whole game.
Yeah.
I guess we could have wound up if Cyrus had kept that Mind's Desire. We could have wound up with Flusterstorm countering an entire Mind's Desire, huh?
Yeah, it depends on how much mana Cyrus ended up with.
Right.
You can put one on each of the copies. It's a confusing sequence, right? Do you Flusterstorm the Mind's Desire? If it's a small Mind's Desire, do you just hope they only get one good spell off of it and counter that?
Dak ticks down in order to steal Mox Jet again. Cyrus is just all about defending Mox Jet. Maybe the only thing he actually accomplishes this game, but he has held on to Mox Jet despite an Abrupt Decay and a Dak.
Andreas is not getting another Mox Jet. Andreas has that new border Mox Jet. He really wants Cyrus to be trying so hard. Cyrus refuses.
Cyrus has got enough mana to potentially play around Flusterstorm. Yeah, he's going to play his Moxen out so that if he does draw a paradoxical outcome, the storm count will be 1, not 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's probably going to hold Mana Crypt, so it'll probably be like a 2 storm count instead of a...
Yeah, but with that Academy, plenty of mana up to play around it.
Dark Confidant is going to put some pressure on. Oh, the Strip Mine for Tolarian Academy.
That's pretty decent. I found it was definitely the case when I was playing Jund versus PO Storm. It's tough to tell how much mana they have because they're encouraged to hold a bunch of Moxes in hand. So it's very difficult to know when to go after their mana, like when that will matter. Sometimes you're aggressively wastelanding things and they got 6 mana in hand. They want you to wasteland.
Yep.
And sometimes they'll just, they have nothing. It's tough from Andreas' side. He has no idea whether Cyrus is sitting on 3 paradoxical outcomes or 3 artifacts. And that changes the place drastically.
All right, well, clock is now ticking officially. Cyrus is now taking... he's probably taking 6 damage a turn. Cyrus basically needs to win next turn. Yeah, I don't think he gets 2 more turns. I think he only gets 1 more.
Yeah. Now, an outcome could.
Yeah, he needs to draw a paradoxical outcome, and then
He's have
pay
already
for
had the
Fluster
artifacts out, I
Storm.
think. Yeah.
That's fair. It may be that he needed to play the Emerald and the Opal to get around this Fluster Storm.
Could be.
Losing the
Was
Academy might tilt the Fluster Storm math for sure.
Yeah. Three death rights. The littlest
The Jet finally going over? The
Oh
Jet
no!
finally going over. There's a replacement DAC.
That's just insult to injury right there.
It's also relevant to Flusterstorm.
Yeah, relevant to Flusterstorm. Takes a card off PO, worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'm not sure the PO can actually resolve now. Man, replacement DAC can steal the Ruby? Yep.
Yeah.
Andreas has closed this window very quickly. I thought Cyrus had another turn, and now he just doesn't.
Yeah, I can't think of anything here.
Misty Rainforest certainly not going to get it done, but I'm not sure there was anything.
Yeah, would a mentor have been? Was that this game? No, that was he already played.
That was this game. He played the mentor on turn 2 as a hymn to Torok.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess because Andreas spent his mana on the replacement DAC instead of draining with Death Rights, we're not technically done. But come on, Force of Will and Flusterstorm. we're close enough to done.
Yeah, and the Death Rights are threatening 6 damage. Fetches even.
Good point. There is the paradoxical outcome. Cyrus is going to go through the motions because what else is he going to do?
Yeah, I mean, we've been looking at that Flusterstorm all game, but very good chance he doesn't have it.
I mean, he's seen 31 cards from his library. So, how many Flusters does he run? 2?
Yeah, I mean, I guess 2 forces as well in hand. 1 Flusterstorm.
Oh, it's the only one? Okay. Well, he's going for Hardcast Force of Will.
Yeah, can Hardcast Force of Will and Flusterstorm.
That should do it. All right, Andreas Peterson now 1 game away from a spot in next week's semifinal.
Be tough to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, I think his deck is pretty well set up for this matchup. I described it as Xeroxy earlier, and yeah, I stand by that, right? He's got all the annoying permission suite of a Xerox deck, but then he's got extra legends that are annoying.
So many legends.
I mean,
yeah, the only tough thing is the no preordains. The mana's a little rougher. Your cards have to they have to naturally come together a little bit more. No delve draw spells, but you're replacing those with with Leovolds and.
Yeah, I think Cyrus would be happy if those legends got replaced by delve draw spells.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Lavinia and Leovold can affect the game on turn 2.
Yeah, the place where Andreas is hurting, I guess, is like Death Rights, right? Which are not dead. I mean,
he essentially has Death Rights instead of preordains, which is kind of weird, but that's how he stitches his mana base together. He's got more mana cards. I guess he's just less consistent than a Xerox deck because he's got more mana cards than your typical Xerox deck. Then again, Death Ray Shaman, is it a mana card? Is it an accelerant? Or is it really a planeswalker?
The littlest planeswalker.
Choose one of these 3 abilities every turn.
Getting the job done.
Sounds like a planeswalker.
It is funny to see the March of Death Ray Shaman is now getting taken away from other formats and becoming more of a vintage card kind of by default.
All right, Cyrus on the play. This Merchant Scroll is presumably going to get an Ancestral. And Cyrus is going to pass the turn back, and he is not going to enjoy this. I don't know how many of those cards get played, but every sequence of them seems good. Andreas has 5 mana or 4 in a Wasteland. Basic Island for Cyrus.
Yeah.
I guess it's tricky to cast Lavinia.
So Andreas can.
Oh, you cast Lavinia off Sapphire Fetch Land, and then you crack Lotus for black for Deathrite Dark Confidant.
Yeah, which is
that's not a bad turn. A Deathrite, a Dark Confidant, and a Lavinia. That seems okay for turn 1.
Yeah.
Leads with Lavinia. Yeah, Cyrus does not have the Force of Will. Now he can't miss. Ugh. Andreas Peterson.
That's a strong opening.
Looks like he wants to keep playing.
Yeah. Now Cyrus's hand isn't particularly susceptible to Lavinia. Has the tools to deal with it.
You can't paradoxical outcome through Lavinia. I mean, you have to mentor.
Had the repeal already, but just drew the mentor. So this is just turned back into a game for sure.
Demonic Tutor also, which he can cast this turn.
Yeah, so can Demonic here? Which looks like what's happening, could also play the mentor now, try to set up a Demonic for something next turn. Caracas.
Nice.
I handle Lavinia nicely.
Very nice.
Though, Andreas has the Wasteland right there.
Oh, he goes for the Underground Sea!
Did not anticipate the DT for Caracas.
Interesting. I wonder if he should have. Deckless Republic. He's just like, take everything. I mean, Dark Confidant's going to run away with this game. Cyrus can answer Lavinia. Congrats. Now what are you going to do? I'm just going to Dark Confidant.
Like just wins as soon as Lavinia gets bounced. He still gets the mentor right now if he wants it. Could be better to leave up the Brainstorm. Yeah, Cyrus is just saying, forget this mentor. I'm going to go off. To bounce Lavinia into turn, maybe cast Brainstorm in a turn, try to set up a big Mind's Desire. Maybe wait until his turn to see more cards.
Hilariously, Lavinia is the blue card for Andreas's Force of Will.
True.
And Deathrite Shaman is, like we said, stitching the colored mana together. Deathrite Shaman is the red mana for Pyroblast.
Yeah.
And that makes Lotus Petal relevant too. I guess Deathrite can make black for a second Dark Confidant. And then you could Pyroblast off Lotus Petal.
True.
I mean, look, Andreas' mana base is sketchy, but Cyrus doesn't punish him for it, right? In this matchup, whoa, he's going to Caracas mid-combat, stopping the damage, but giving Andreas the ability to recast.
Yeah, so
combat.
Must mean Cyrus isn't planning to go for it on his next turn.
Right. He is okay with Lavinia coming back down. Which I wonder, yeah, if I'm Andreas, I care more about second Dark Confidant and blue card for Force of Will. Versus an enemy Caracas, Lavinia's merely annoying. You're merely forcing him to tap Caracas. I don't know if I want to spend 2 mana to force my opponent to tap 1, so.
Yeah, white mana free to play the mentor now.
Yeah. Force of Will?
I think we're going to see a lot of spells on the stack right now.
Force back Pyroblast?
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, I think Andreas is absolutely correct to want to force this mentor. His confidants are going to win him the game if mentor resolves, and have a good chance to win him the game if it doesn't. Interesting. Cyrus brainstorms his response, which he had queued up. Now he's left himself with multiple copies of Force of Will.
Set up it. The mentor could resolve if Cyrus wants it to.
Yeah, he's going to have to use his whole hand to do it, but I don't think Cyrus feels like he has a choice.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, brainstormed into second Force of Will. Andrea,
That's big.
Both players are hellbent. Look at this. Empty hand versus empty hand. One guy's got 2 copies of Bob. Jace the Mind Sculptor off the top.
Ooh, it's seven damage off those Bobs, but
Jeez, that was 7 damage, wasn't it? Can he cast Leovold?
He can't cast Leovold because the Tundra and the Sapphire both only tap for blue.
Correct.
That's a shame.
Just like, I will trade Dark Confidants for Mentors. You know what? I'll even trade one for a Monk.
Yeah, has to get that damage in. Probably a little afraid of taking damage himself.
Yeah, having taken 7, I think second Dark Confidant was looking a little sketchy.
It is hard to overstate how good that brainstorm was for Cyrus, giving the
to set up the double force. Well, yeah, I totally thought Andreas had that covered.
That
totally thought
huge.
Snapcaster. What does that get? Oh, just Ancestral Recall. I remember that card. Unbelievable.
I guess Cyrus knew the Snapcaster on top of the storm. I was going to say, I'm a little surprised. I'm never seeing players put the top on top of their deck. But if Cyrus knew the Snapcaster was on top, then he needed the mana for that Ancestral. That dig is not so bad. Can't use it yet, but
this whole night has just been, how is Cyrus going to wriggle out of this one? I thought we were done. I thought we were done. Cyrus had to brainstorm into a second Force of Will to get this Mentor to resolve, but now all of a sudden, Andreas is down to 5. Cyrus has a Mentor going. He's got to dig through time in his hand.
Now, if Andreas had access to all the mana he wanted, those 2 Death Rights could win this race.
True.
But
8 damage sounds like 2 Death Rights twice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not with that. Not with Mox Sapphire and Tundra, it doesn't.
Yeah. So the Jace or the Leovold could come down now, but they both might be a turn too late. Close to going for the Jace here. Fetched out a land that I'm surprised I didn't see Underground Sea. You must be thinking about a specific red spell to get that volcanic.
Cyrus spins his top as a response to the Mind Sculptor. 2 Force of Will, pitching your dig through time if you could.
So if Jace resolves, what do you do here? Bounce something? Do you Fate Seal? Do you Brainstorm? They all seem good.
Wow. I mean, being at 4 makes Brainstorm have the extra utility of Dark Confidant manipulation. That is a relevant thing.
All right.
He does go for the Brainstorm. So we can go something like Jet for Shaman here.
Yeah, it's a worst case, it's a blocker.
Yeah, setting himself up to take 0 from Dark Confidant as well. The Leovold has not a ton of utility with the Karakas on the other side. Although Andreas draws when you Karakas Leovold, right? It's like spell or ability that targets it.
Yeah. I know it works with Wastelands. So we'll see the Death Right. Or just leap up the black mana to...
Black mana does give him drain for 2. That is relevant.
Could be more important here.
No, goes for the Death Right.
All right.
Leaving himself the blue mana for a Mental Misstep. What he's leaving himself.
Now I expect this dig is going to find something unbeatable, but it may not. And then we're going to be able to a very tight race with these Shamans versus the Monk.
Oh, right, the Mana Vault. I actually wonder if Deathrite Shaman draining for 2 was relevant, because the Mana Vault damage put Cyrus at 6.
And then untap win.
Untap, yeah, if you would drain for 2, then you can untap, drain for 4.
Now, assuming the dig doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I think the Mana Vault damage is relevant and might have changed my play there. I don't know. Andreas is sort of going to is forced in a position to chump block here, so having the extra 1/2 might actually be more important. Paradoxical outcome, Mana Crypt. How's that for your dig through time card?
Yeah. Even if Andreas has the blockers to not die now, could be a tough word to get back from.
He's going to be obliged to block with all 3 of his creatures. No, I guess you can let Snap. Oh, you get to pick up the Snapcaster, of course. Yeah, Andreas is like, all right, fine. Maybe I don't technically lose on the spot, but whatever. You're going to draw 6 and have a bunch of mana. I give. Also, I mean, Andreas does also know the top of his library. Wow, Cyrus won that game!
Yeah.
I had the whole wind-up. I had the whole Andreas claiming his spot in the semifinals.
Yeah.
I did not see Cyrus winning that game.
And once again, it was Monastery Mentor.
I mean, it was kind of brainstorm to find the second Force of Will, but
sure.
That game, there were so many interesting judgment calls in that game. That's one I feel like you could study for weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Decent mix of colored mana for Andreas. That is, he can get 4 different colors with his 2 lands. I don't know if that's good enough for him, but Cyrus, unfortunately, with the mull to 6. There's Monastery Mentor, though. This is 3 games in a row. Three of Cyrus's game wins in a row, anyway, that have been on the back of the Mentor rather than the Storm combo. Cyrus needs a mana. There it is. Scry. Don't know if he put it on top or bottom, but 6 into Scry got him to the 3 mana on turn 2 that he wants.
Yeah, and another mana. If the Mentor doesn't stick, the Kern's probably not so bad in this matchup either.
Lavinia could be a problem.
Yeah, it most certainly will be.
Man, the DT for Caracas was last game too. That was huge.
Notably, Cyrus did not play his Mox House this turn, which means Lavinia here. Mentor can't even play it.
Wow, good point.
Now there are plenty of good reasons to not play the Mox, but it didn't pan out.
Lavinia lets you play creatures that are cost more than the lands you have in play.
I'll pull it up. There's different rules. You know that you can't play.
It only stops non-creatures, so you can play a 3 mana Monastery Mentor with only 2 lands in play. Not if you hold your Ruby, though.
Yes, that's no problem. Now you can't play a creature if you didn't spend mana on the creature. So like a Foundry Inspector, 2 Foundry Inspectors and Archon Ravagery. I don't think I've seen that come up before.
Oh, Ancestral Recall off the top, but Andreas had just DT'd for a Pyroblast. All right, here's Monastery Mentor. Andreas is like, not interested. I saw what happened last game. Dak Faden, gone. Chooses to keep Leovold instead. Now, 4th mana lets him cast Leovold and leave up Pyroblast. I assume he can put dual lands together to do that? Yes, he can.
All those dual lands.
I mean, he has the best 4, right?
No argument there. Though I do wonder if without Preordain, I haven't seen his list, like, this could probably get away. Maybe this deck should have a Taiga. I don't know. This is probably an incredibly hard build. Cyrus's hand is very good, but I like Andreas' game state here. It's with the 2 hate cards and the Pyroblast.
Cyrus's hand is destroyed by Andreas' board. Leovold turns off his Ancestral Recall. Leovold turns off his Paradoxical Outcome. Lavinia also turns off his Paradoxical Outcome, and Lavinia turns off both his Moxes. Oh, Lavinia also turns off dig through time. Like his hand is 7 uncastables right now. Literally 7 uncastables.
Single guard. And
8.
going to 8.
And there's 5 power on the other side. He's not getting out of this one.
I really thought we were going to see red outcome decks when Lavinia popped in.
Sure. Yeah, no, I definitely thought about, bolting it. Seems like the obvious thing you want to do. It turns out Caracas is the cleanest answer.
Caracas is great. Yeah, no,
and
no
repeal is really the tech. I think the 2 repeals has become kind of stock in paradoxical outcome lists, and it gives you that little bit of, okay, I'm covered with whatever random permanent they do, and Lavinia just falls into that category. And then, sideboarding in plows if you really need to kill it. They're not as good as Bolt because they can't kill planeswalkers, but
But red elemental blast kills Lavinia, counter spells, kills. All right, so Andreas lost the game we thought he was going to win, but then won the next.
His deck looked beautiful in that last game. Just like, this is the way we drew it up. We play 1 annoying legend that can smash the PO deck. We Demonic Tutor for Pyroblast, Force of Will, Pyroblast. Oh, here's the other legend that also single-handedly smashes your deck. Good luck. You have to deal with both of them through my hand full of permission. And yeah, Cyrus finally lost 2 games in the same match. It was a nice run for him after getting blown away by Shops in the first match of the night. But in the end, it is Andreas Peterson who is through to the semifinals. Quick and easy 3-0 for him. Did not drop a match. Had a loss to give. Didn't need to give it.
Yeah, just undefeated.
Sure. That's one word. He does have all the Jund colors in there. He is a Deathrite Shaman deck, so I have to allow it. Man, Andreas, I know he wants to win this too. He finished second. His team finished second in the last Vintage Super League, which was the Team Vintage Super League. So Snap Cardster got all the way to the finals, couldn't quite get it done. I know he would love to finish things off. So that does set up our final 4. We got 4 players left in the league, in the season, the semifinals next week. I'm going to be there. Rachel Agnes, Rich Shea, the 3 of us each went 5-1 to earn that bye through to next week. And now we know tonight's winner will be Andreas Peterson. Now, we do not know the pairings yet. What's going to happen is there's going to be 2 matches. Each match is going to be best 2 out of 3 matches. So all 4 of us are going to have to submit 2 different decks. You play one deck, you play the other deck. If you need a match 3 to resolve things, so it's 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3s. If you need that match 3, you get to choose whichever of your decks you want. And so next week's show will be the 2 different semifinals. So anywhere between 4 and 6 matches next week, depending on how things go. That will give us our 2 finalists. They will play, the typical VSL final, 3 out of 5, 3 decks each, 3 out of 5 matches, that is.
Yeah, I'm really excited about to see what people are going to bring next week. It's a fascinating, it's a mind puzzle to figure out how to metagame 2 decks at the same time.
Yeah, no, it's it's gonna be fun. I'm certainly looking forward. I love getting to play in spots like that. I think it should be a fun week. Yeah, so semifinals next week, finals the week after, season coming down to it. Just 4 players left at this point. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Glad you could hang out and do that extra round of commentary. It was good.
Yeah. And I am I obviously wanted to win, but it's gonna be fun to next week. I get to kick back. I get to relax, just watch everyone else sweat it out. Catch all the Twitch chat. It'll be fun.
All right. Hope you guys will join us as well. Come back, same time, same place next week. We'll play out the semifinals and see which 2 are going to emerge from that scrum. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.